Here's Matt Ryan. Hasn't played since February 24 for his club, so when we talk about minutes, tonight will be vital for him. And both teams are going to line up and take in the national anthems.
السيدات والسادة يرجى الوقوف لعزف النشيد الوطني للأردن. Ladies and gentlemen, please now stand for the national anthem of Jordan. والآن مع النشيد الوطني لأستراليا. And now the national anthem of Australia. So with the anthems complete, stick around because lineups and kickoff are next. Captains meeting the referee for today's game from Kuwait. That is Saad Khalife. And the captain of Jordan is Baha Abdulrahman. Matty Ryan wearing the armband for Australia. Of course, the game's behind closed doors, so 45,000 empty seats greeting the players for this one. And the handshakes take place as we get ready for the match. So to the Jordan lineup, their most recent game, a 2-0 win against India. Watch out for number 14, Sharara, Mohammed Abu Drake, to give him his full name. And Jordan are preparing for their AFC qualifiers against Nepal, Indonesia, and also Kuwait. They start in a week. Their Iraqi former international coach is Adnan Hamad. Australia with a mixed lineup of players coming straight out of the A-League and also coming from no club football at all. In the case of Aaron Moy, and plenty of talent on the bench. Which 6 will Graham Arnold opt for, and in what minute though? is Graham Arnold, of course. Dealing with the departure of Tom Rogic, no replacement called in, but Aaron Moy will be relishing the chance to play competitively for the first time since January, and a great moment for Jason Davidson as well, back in the Socceroos mix and playing it for the first time since January 2015 in green and gold. It's an all Kuwaiti officiating crew for this one. And a reasonably balanced head-to-head record between the two teams. Australia 4 wins, Jordan 3. They've never played a draw. Australia winning both home and on neutral, sorry, away I should say, and on neutral territory against Jordan in the first round of World Cup qualifying between the teams. 1-0 on both occasions. Will that form hold? Will they have goals in them today? So many burning questions to be answered. And they will take on a sharp Jordanian team who themselves have vital games starting in just a week as well. And so will it be 3 games to qualify for a 5th consecutive World Cup for Australia? It isn't win or go home tonight, but it will be next start. So the preparation, Daniel McBreen, is vital.
It is, Tag. Good morning, everybody. And it's a vital game for both teams. Australia, obviously, our main focus for the evening. It's an interesting lineup.
Craig Goodwin with an early cross. Davidson knocks it back to Goodwin. Australia trying to set the tone in the early stages, and Nick D'Agostino, the ball is nicked away from his leaning head. Aaron Moy, and now Kenny Dougal. Lots of Blackpool fans excited about this match, wanting to watch Kenny Dougal start in central midfield for the Socceroos tonight.
Well, it's a friendly game, Teo, but the last time these two met, there was a bit of fireworks near the end and a red card for El Tamari. So, as you mentioned, both teams preparing for upcoming important matches. So, we'll see how far that friendly extends as the game wears on.
Well, you make a good point. They only met competitively at senior level for the first time in 2012 and haven't played a friendly in that time. 6 World Cup qualifiers and a meeting at the Asian Cup, which Jordan won in 2019. So this is the first time they've actually played a match against each other without points on the line. I hardly think the players are going to switch off given the mentality that they've got to get into, though.
Well, that's correct. And you've got both teams looking to secure a position in the playing roster for the next round, and those next round for us as Australians is a do-or-die World Cup match. So it's an opportunity for a lot of players here. Graham Arnold speaking about getting minutes and the legs, but for some of these players, it's an opportunity to go and show what they can do. Kai rolls on his first opportunity.
Giveaway here and a clumsy foul from Kenny Dougal and a free kick in dangerous territory here for Jordan. Well played by Ali Olwan, scorer of 2 goals against New Zealand in a recent friendly. And so Dougal with a very clumsy foul to bowl him over.
Well, it's in a dangerous area as well.
So straight away, work for Matt Ryan to set a defensive wall. And it's going to be Baha Abdul Rahman standing over the free kick solo here. You can hear all the shouts from Matty Ryan to his wall, trying to get Awer Mabil and Craig Goodwin spot on. Will Abdul Rahman fancy his chances on the tight angle? Early chance for Jordan then. It's Baha Abdul Rahman and Matty Ryan, firm grasp on the ball.
Did well there, Matt Ryan. Ball dipped late. Managed to hold on to it with that on-rushing, attacking Jordanians. As we see there, just a little too close to the keeper for the Jordanians, but Matt Ryan holding well.
Surface looks very lush. I suppose preparing for the World Cup, they've got to be good. In stark contrast to many of the away qualifiers Australia has played in the Middle East over the journey since going into the AFC, where often it's heavy and difficult. So this will be a complete change of atmosphere, both in the air and on the ground.
Yeah, and the air conditioning in the stadiums as well. Obviously, interesting to see how that affects the players, spending most of their time in the warm temperatures and stepping inside where it's a good 15, 20 degrees lower.
No shortage of willing physical play there. Craig Goodwin winning his 8th cap tonight. In a little duel here with Ihsan Haddad.
And he's had a fantastic year this year in the A-League. Craig Goodwin will be looking to put in a stellar performance tonight to say to Graham Arnold, well, why can't I start on that left? Such a talented player, great delivery, and very dangerous on set pieces as well.
Jordan goalkeeper Yazid Abdullayla having to consolidate possession. Tariq Katab. Isan Haddad. See Nick D'Agostino pressing with real intent, dragging up Craig Goodwin with him. Jordan trying to play through it. Isan Haddad nearly coughs the ball up, but he's helped out by Tariq Katab. And then he's caught by D'Agostino. Mabil trying to return it with interest. And it sits up and is cleared away, but the Jordanians were their own worst enemies there.
Yeah, well, it was not a bad press from the Australians. Pressing high up, lots of intensity, forcing the error.
As mentioning Kai Rolls, Socceroos debutant today, 23 years old, and credit to the Central Coast Mariners and of course his junior club, the Palm Beach Sharks. He becomes camp number 621. You see him there, the number 4, taking possession now. A great moment for him. He's the only uncapped player called into Graham Arnold's squad for this series of matches, so he'll go down on the honour roll.
It's also great to have a left-footed centre-back there as well. Quite confident defensively, but also playing out.
Of course, there are many Dan Hall truthers that believe that the centre-back partnership of Rolls and Hall was key for Central Coast this season, but it's Rolls, as you mentioned, with the left foot. I think that does tip the balance in terms of his positional necessity for the team. And now he's going to have to do some defensive work right here, and he is able to usher the ball safely over the line. To shouts of easy, Kenny Dougal. To Aaron Moy. Now Davidson. Holding off an opponent. Just got rid of the ball before it became a 1-on-2. Bailey Wright. First Socceroos game for him since 2019 as well, getting promoted with Sunderland out of League One. He's gone from a full Wembley to an empty Al Janoub Stadium here. Lots of chatter, giving you an insight into just what you can do when you don't have the fans cheering and basically blocking all your messages. They can reach the opposite side of the pitch. Normally it'd only be when they run past the near touchline at best.
Well, it's good for young players watching the game to realise how much talk really goes on at the top level. It's a constant barrage of information.
Riley McGree stripped of the ball. He was buzzing around, determined there not to be beaten. Jordan clearly in no hurry to take this throw. D'Agostino nodding it into the path of McGree, nicked off his toes almost, and yes, to the advantage of Mabil, and then a little step over, but eventually the ball was taken off him by Abdul Rahman. So Abu Hashish comes away for Jordan. Certainly not moving the ball at breakneck speed though. They seem very happy to be patient here. And ponderous on the ball as they give it away. Now D'Agostino, and on his first start for the Socceroos, he's hunting a first international goal as he sends that one over the bar.
Well, again, it's another good press. You did mention that the Jordanians moving the ball quite slowly. It's also a great press from the Socceroos. It's probably the second or third time now where they've won possession back high up the field and look to go immediately forward to that central area. And this time, D'Agostino just getting under his strike.
Nodded inboard by Sharara. And a chance to run here for Ahmed Samir. Back to Sharara, the playmaker of the Jordan team, and he wins a corner. So we've seen one free kick from a dangerous position. Now the Socceroos will set up to defend a corner kick. And the man to give him his full name, Mohamed Abu Drake, will swing in the corner here. Nothing getting past the director. A quick tie of the shoelace, and Noor Rawabde will be ready to challenge for the ball here. So here comes Sharara's corner. It's an outswinger, dealt with by Moy, and the follow-up shot always rising as Musa Al-Tamari sends it into the stands.
Well, they dealt with the first cross there well, the Socceroos, but the clearing header came out. You can see there's acres of space on the edge of the box. It's Craig Goodwin who got out to put pressure on.
It's felt a bit start, stop and disjointed through the first 10 minutes. The game doesn't have a great deal of flow to it at the moment.
Well, it's again teams coming together, especially the Socceroos. It's been a while between drinks, really. They didn't spend too much time together, and Graham Arnold was saying how he's looking forward to having this extended period of 8 to 10 days together to really work through the way they want to approach these matches. Sometimes it just takes a little bit to settle in, get into your groove.
Kai rolls with the header away. Musa Al-Tamari the ball, at least at his feet. Now he throws it in. Goodwin wins possession back, albeit briefly. Graham Arnold gets his first touch as the ball is cannoned into his shins, standing in the technical area. Moy, first thought is to go backwards. That's where Bailey Wright is waiting. Dougal. Goodwin. Davidson, a hurried pass. And now a potential shallow back pass. D'Agostino wasn't sure whether to go full pelt or not. Cleared away by Abu Layla. Now Awumabil backtracking. Getting help at the right side of defence by Fran Karacic. D'Agostino in an aerial duel that breaks central. Clipped out to the left by Goodwin for Jason Davidson. See the Jordan midfield getting back behind the ball. And that pass from Kenny Dougal will not be able to unlock it as it sails out and long.
Well, Graham Arnold was saying during the week, Jason Davidson's more an attacking-minded fullback. You just saw there, just trying to get forward, but the Jordanian midfield, as you mentioned, getting across quickly to block off that avenue to get forward. And I'm sure as the game goes on, Graham Arnold will be looking to Davidson to try and get into those further forward positions, join in the attacks.
At the start of that phase of play, it was the very aggressive pass from Davidson that went straight to a Jordanian defender without a teammate in sight. So that, I assume that is instruction to try and force the ball forward rather than a decision in the moment. We'll stay with this piece of attack here, maybe revisit later. As Jordan are trying to move through Musa Al-Tamari. We've seen him fire over once. He's going to fancy his chances, and a little deflection on a bending shot. So he has been the main antagonist here for Jordan so far as he wins a corner for his team.
You just see a little bit of space there, just enough to get the shot off, but if you're Matty Ryan, I don't think you're too worried about shots from that distance. Aaron Moy on this occasion getting out and just getting the block on.
So having dealt with pretty emphatically one corner from this side, we'll see if Sharara's delivery is a bit closer to his teammates this time. It's another outswinger. This time a contest is made. Up went Nizan Al-Arab, but not able to affect the play goal-bound in any sense. And now Matt Ryan, almost a bit of a calamity there, and the referee is saying it's an infringement. And a restart of play.
Well, they did that last time Matty Ryan had the ball as well, looking to slow down the play.
Altamari being chased by Goodwin, and he's able to skip away from him here. Musa Altamari into the box, cuts in, can't find his left foot in the crucial moment though, and Karacic shouts at his defenders after the ball is cleared away, but not to any great effect. Jordan on the attack again, a bending cross, and Matt Ryan, well, curious attempt to catch the ball initially, and Ihsan Haddad's ball into the area after one bounce is eventually dealt with.
Well, that attack from the Jordanians down the right came directly from Jason Davidson, had moved forward into one of those attacking positions, and when they won the ball, there was a little bit of space. And at first it was Craig Goodwin that had to cover. It was Davidson again who had to get back and try and cover that space that he'd left. So that would be a danger for the Socceroos.
Bailey Wright with a long diagonal ball. Davidson was his target, but it's been nodded out. An errant clearance from the centre of defence there from Tariq El-Khattab, meaning that Socceroos get a throw in almost level with the box. Awan Mabil presents for the ball and then can't knock it back to a teammate. Here comes Noor Al-Rawabdeh, but he yields possession immediately. Dougal to Mabil. Karacic. Gets a second chance to try and feed it down the line. Mabil is chasing shadows as Yazan Al-Arab dealt with that. All the way back to his goalkeeper, Yazid Abu Layla, taking a little bit of a risk, letting the ball run on. And the Socceroos perhaps a little confused as the referee's whistle intervening there. Looks like a hugging motion that Craig Goodwin's been blown up for.
Well, he did well there, Altamari. His good strength using his body. You can see Jason Davidson with the arms around him.
And so the Socceroos press, which has affected a couple of defensive third turnovers, won't get a chance to go to work here. A long clearance instead by Abu Layla. And the ball is won back in central midfield instead. It's good jumping of the pass by Al-Arab to deny Awan Mabil. Jordan linking up neatly. Hassan stepping over the ball, and Samir knocks it back. The shot is a ripper. What a cracking goal from Musa Altamari. And it's not like he hadn't warned the Socceroos either. A left-footed hammer blow puts Jordan into a 1-0 lead, and questions are plenty for the green and gold.
Well, the last strike we saw from that distance, I mentioned it wouldn't be too much problem if you've got the pressure on the ball, but again, they come down this right-hand side, and there's plenty of Socceroos numbers there, but no one gets out and puts pressure on the ball, and that is an absolute tracer bullet. You see here, plenty of space, a vicious left-foot strike, straight into the side netting, nothing Matt Ryan can do about it. And the Socceroos are stunned.
Well, why wouldn't you go and celebrate in front of the empty stands after pinging one like that? Super strike, not what Australia needed.
Well, as you say, Theo, they had a couple of warnings coming down that right-hand side, finding space and coming inside just around the edge of the box. Warnings not heeded, and a fantastic finish.
And Ihsan Haddad will be thrilled that his little bit of swaz, the step over side foot, will make it into the build-up. Jordan looking good, and to be fair, we'll stay with Craig Goodwin here for the instant reply. Not quite, bending off the outside of his laces, throws his head back in frustration.
Well, almost an instant reply from the Socceroos there. Just a simple ball forward, flick on from D'Agostino, and Craig Goodwin just not quite getting the angles right, slicing across the ball.
Yeah, Yeah, the 2 goals Jordan scored against India, again, they weren't strikes of that quality, but they were very well taken goals. They had to wait 75 minutes to break through. Bit of frustration against an Indian team that were starting to believe they could get a pretty handy result by a nation in the football rankings of their stature, only for the resistance to be broken and then a second goal added in stoppage time. So they come in having shown what they can do against a lesser opponent, and now they are taking it up to one that beat them home and away in the second phase of World Cup qualifying. Moy, attempted through ball. Now Davidson, awkward for the technique. Moy almost bringing it under control with his first touch. And so how will Australia respond? Do you think Jordan will change much here, Daniel? Do you think they'll sit deeper, or will they, given there's not much on the line as far as the result is concerned, look to continue playing the same way rather than maybe habitually defend a 1-0 lead, which is what you might have expected in a competitive game?
No, I think they'll try and play their game, at least for quite a while yet. And they've been quite good at the moment of sitting in and a nice block and working together and counter-attacking, particularly down this right-hand side. And this is what I guess Graham Arnold and the Socceroos wanted, is a test. Took this game on for the similarities that it might pose to the UAE. And I guess probably the only consternation or queries that onlookers may have is that Graham Arnold has said, well, this is about minutes, this game. But not very often do you get time or multiple days, a week or so, to get with your team and work with them in the international arena. And I guess a lot of people would be thinking, well, it would have been more accustomed to be, well, let's put the first 11 out there and make sure we get everything right, and let's get it all, any kinks ironed out in this game. And then we can work from there into the next game. But different approach taken by Graham Arnold tonight, so we'll see how it pans out.
Further to that point, as Jordan seemingly keep control comfortably around their defensive line, the 5 not even on the bench, either due to, and the team's word out of camp was having either played enough minutes or late arrival. So we see advantage given here for Sharara. Come back to those 5 players in a moment, depending on how Jordan go on this raid down the wing. On one, a little step inside. Tamari blocked. Gets another chance though. All one and moving it sideways. Mohamed Samir. And now Jordan conceded a bit of territory. The 5 not in the squad: Martin Boyle, Mitch Duke, Joel King, Matthew Leckie and Adam Taggart. So they won't be coming off the bench tonight, but as we see Davidson clatter Musa Al-Tamari, it's safe to say that you'd think 3, if not 4 of them are probably in our best 11 and probably starting.
Yeah, well, I think those 5 arrived later into the camp, maybe a day or so ago. But just look at the players' perspective, and speaking to the guys on the couch earlier on tonight, as a player, you want to get out there and get back on the field with the team and as we say, iron out the kinks that you may have got by not playing with each other for a while and get into that groove. As I say, different approach from Graham Arnold.
Qatar, as Jordan play with the confidence of a 1-0 lead. Karacic, the ball sets up, it's there to be won. 50-50 in midfield. Dougal slid, but did not take the ball. And now Sharara can exploit. Down the left flank he goes. Can he find a teammate or go himself? It's blocked away. And perhaps overcooked it there against Karacic, who looked calm in defending him one-on-one. And now he goes and collides with Awa Mabil on his way out. He's clearly taking exception to the way that Saad Khalifa has refereed the game so far.
Well, I think Sharara actually got a touch on the ball there, as though Mabil tried to put his body across, but he did well to get back and help out in the defence. It just looks a little tentative at the back for the Socceroos as well, doesn't it, when the Jordanians get that ball up around the penalty area.
Of course, this match in preparation for the win or go home game against the UAE, 3:30 a.m. Australian Eastern Time on Wednesday, June the 8th. Win that, it's through to another one against Peru. And there must be a winner on the night, so extra time, penalties if required. Adnan Hamad, full of instructions for his team as he prowls the technical area. Rolls taking preventative measures with the clearance. D'Agostino trying to use his strength at the drop of the ball. Just got outnumbered in the end. Ihsan Haddad doing well against him. Referee not even lifting the whistle, happy to let them play. Michael Ruckman back to the centre of defence. And away come Jordan through Abu Hashish. Attempted long ball, Rolls able to intercept but not able to steer it towards Davidson, so out for a throw. Chance for the Socceroos now to spend some time on the ball. Karacic. Given space in midfield. What's presenting for him though? Bailey Wright. Now Aaron Moy. Can he find the right pass? Well, they're just waxing at the moment, Daniel. Not able to connect with the likes of McGree further up the pitch, and right on cue he runs deep and shouts for the ball. As we see the long diagonal here, and it's kept away from Davidson, but he's not getting the corner decision his way. Last touch off the Melbourne Victory left back and a goal kick.
No, you're right, Taya. The Socceroos finding it a little difficult to find those midfielders in those 10 positions in between the lines. You see Moy dropping out to the left a lot, and Jason Davidson almost going in as an extra midfielder as well in that higher position. The Jordanians, well organised, well disciplined. Socceroos finding it a little difficult to play through.
Mobile. Just a bit of a hot potato there for Kenny Dougal. The ball whipped away. Now the whistle goes. Australia's ball. Australia will go all the way around the back line in order to try and find the right pass, as Matt Ryan is nearly caught by the pressing Ali Owan. We'll trust that he had his bearings and peripheral vision working for him to strike that ball away in the nick of time, as Riley McGree gets a chance to possess the ball and try to contribute to the build-up, but he misses Karacic on the underlap, and Jordan prevail with possession.
The Socceroos just a little sloppy with the ball at times.
Goodwin's header. D'Agostino. High up and under clearance. Down it comes Australia's way. Rolls to right. Karacic rolls out to the right. Didn't like what he see. Moy. Dropped it on the feet of Riley McGree, and Australia again trapped in the midfield third at the moment, looking for the right way to try and advance the ball up the pitch. Moy. Another little touch on from Goodwin. Davidson hard up against the paint of the line and whips it over all and sundry. It's going to find its way out on the opposite side of the pitch.
I think we can see, and we had heard Graham Arnold and the coaching staff asking the Australian players to try and find the feet of Riley McGree in that second line. And they pick that ball up in deep areas to try and drive forward a little bit to commit a player out of that line, defensive Jordanian line. I'm just finding it a little difficult to move them around at the moment and find that space in midfield.
Dougal stops on the ball. And again, he's forced to turn and go backwards. It's still 15 minutes until half-time, so in an empty stadium where your shouts can get out to the players, what are you shouting to try and bring a bit more impetus to Australia's play and stop them getting trapped in little holding patterns like this?
Yeah, well, I think I just saw Graham Arnold speaking to his coaching staff and saying the 2 sixes are deep. And we're not really utilising getting that ball. And you can hear him just a second ago saying to Craig Goodwin, stay inside as another 10. And you can see him here making a run from inside to out now. And now they're starting to move that defensive organisation around.
And McGree involved in the build-up. Goodwin, whose movement perhaps drew the defence away to start it all. Davidson to Goodwin, whips it across the box. And it was all Jordan there, lined up across the 6-yard area. Now Mobile waiting at the back post, but the ball never arrived. And then Davidson is shut down by the backtracking goal scorer, Musa Al-Tamari. Better signs already from the Socceroos, though.
Yeah, well, just as we were saying about Craig Goodwin staying inside, it played dividends straight away.
And now from a more advanced position, can they force the issue? Karacic with a shot on target, skimming on, and held on to by the goalkeeper. Karacic with one international goal. That came against Nepal back in June of last year. At the moment, he's on the books of Brescia and missed out on promotion to Serie A because they were beaten by Monza, who went on to grab promotion into the top flight of Italian football for the first time. But Karacic ended up playing 18 games in the club season. So when they talk about minutes, he may have made it back in time for the promotion playoffs at the end of the campaign, but he had missed a lot of football.
Yeah, that's right. And there's a number of players in this squad as well. Spoke it this week a lot about Aaron Moy in the press and working with Clarkey in Scotland, trying to get up to speed. A few other players as well, just a few weeks since their seasons have finished.
Just for those that don't know, Clarkey, for our younger audience who might be watching the Socceroos for the first time.
High performance, strength and conditioning mogul, I will call him. So he spent some time over in Scotland, I believe, working closely with Aaron Moy to get him up to speed. Obviously, a lot of time out with no football being played in China.
Will be interesting to see how many minutes he does end up playing. As out of that morass, the ball is just booted away. And other than fielding that one long shot from Fran Karacic, Izzy Abulela has not had the busiest 32.5 minutes so far. Al-Tamari. Sharara came in for him, and well, he's trying to sell some late contact there for all it's worth, but the referee who is reaching for his whistle but hasn't broken into a sprint or done any strenuous work, it must be said, so far tonight. Now he has a bit of a to-do to solve because the red mist is starting to descend in front of Jason Davidson's eyes, and clearly tempers are starting to heighten. Graham Arnold making it clear, ref, it's your fault.
Well, there was a little spice, as we said, in the last meeting between these two. It'd be interesting to see if there's a replay where it looked like Craig Goodwin was just running back towards the ball and ran across the line. You just see here, he just sticks his arm out to reach, and there's a bit of a hand to face, but it's storm in a teacup for me.
Well, Musa Al-Tamari has now required the trainers to be called out. I mean, if it was totally unexpected, yeah, come on, pal, it wasn't an elbow. But
yeah.
Okay, now I think we can't give him the benefit of the doubt here. There's an element of theatre to all of this.
Look, if there's the arm went out, the hand was for reaching, and the hands come into the contact of behind the ear. And here we'll see the goal. Just see there's no pressure on the ball there. It's a wonderful strike from that range, but there needs to be a lot more pressure on the ball, a little bit of urgency in defence. We see lots of Socceroos players in and around the edge of the box. You said earlier, they had a couple of warnings before that didn't take heed.
Couple of long faces on the bench there. Jackson Irvine, Jamie McLaren and Trent Sainsbury all watching on. The good news is our goal scorer appears to be back up and running. So the full complement of 11 for Jordan restored. Still with 10 minutes of regulation to go until half-time as Australia try to find a way back, both on the scoreboard and in general play. Rolls, his path blocked. Davidson. Just a bending, long, hopeful clearance. Taken in midfield by Alvaro Abde. Sharara tried to turn away from Karacic, who was having none of it, and then just got grappled as he tried to launch a counter.
It's only a slight touch, just enough to put him off his run. Lost possession of the ball.
Australia happy to go backwards from the free kick rather than try to force the issue. Dougal. Rolls. Trying to pick out the run of Davidson. Hits him in stride. Cross with no real elevation, though. Cleared from the centre of defence. D'Agostino buzzing around. And the end result is a good one for Jordan as they win a goal kick. There's Tim Cahill watching on in the VIP box. Of course, an iconic Socceroo and, well, Mr. Fix-It in our more recent World Cup qualifying campaigns as well. Now Graham Arnold would love the next Tim Cahill to call upon. Instead, giving the likes of McGree, D'Agostino the opportunity to lead the line. They can do their cause no harm if they find the back of the net between now and full time tonight, but so far yet to really show us what they are capable of. Here is McGree to Awama Bill, and some physical defending being done by Yazan Al Arab to force the ball out. Karacic to Dougal. Still back to the goal, though. And now Jordan are chasing the ball with a bit of heightened intent, and they win it back. Davidson gave up possession. Al-Tamari, we've seen him once. He's going to try and turn provider here. And down goes the attacker, Ali Owan, with a shriek to go with it, but the referee, again, not really interested. No VAR in this game either, so the moment has passed.
Well, I think the Socceroos may have got away with one there. For a brief moment, I thought the referee put his whistle to his mouth.
Well, Al-Tamari's got a real bee in his bonnet with Davidson now. You can see that he is playing absolutely enlivened, and I think, well, the referee is getting manhandled here by Baha Abdul Rahman. Graham Arnold, when he said it's your fault, maybe he wasn't kidding, because this game is starting to become very unfriendly.
Well, we did question whether it would be a friendly and how long it would last that way. But the Jordanians, they think it was a clear penalty down the other end.
What do you make of Al-Tamari's decision to roll it across the top of the penalty area there rather than shoot himself, given he's shown us what the left foot can do and very nearly paid off?
Yeah, I think it was... Look, you see the numbers around him here, and he looks just there. There's a touch. Does he catch his foot on the ground, or is he caught? He's caught. And I think the Socceroos and Bailey Wright have got away with one there. That is a clear penalty in my eyes. Last touch from the Jordanian player, Al Alwan. And there's clear contact from Bailey Wright for me there, and you can see why the Jordanians aren't happy on that.
Well, based on where they're pointing, you can only assume that some of those replays may have been shown on a screen inside the stadium, and there is no VAR. There's nothing they can do about it.
Well, I'm not sure if they were just pointing to the other end, saying, what about the penalty down that end?
Well, 2-0 would have been quite a hole for the Socceroos to dig out of. Instead, they have a set piece, mid-range. We haven't seen anything resembling this picture for them in an attacking sense so far. So what can they come up with? Moy leaves it for Goodwin. Everyone runs offside and gets back in line. And after much anticipation, here comes the free kick and the equaliser. And it's the man who may well have given away the penalty had there been VAR. Instead, Bailey Wright makes it 1-1.
Well, it was a delicious ball in from Craig Goodwin. He spoke about his expertise on set pieces. They seemed to get it wrong on the first occasion, but when they lined up for the second time, perfect ball in. The marking is almost non-existent. Bailey Wright with a free header up, guides it home. And from almost being the villain at one end, he becomes a hero at the other.
Just his second international goal. And the man currently representing Sunderland, who've been promoted to the championship, he nods in. More than a nod, he powers in the header to make it 1-1. And how a game can swing on those little moments. It could have been a penalty for a 2-0 lead. Instead, it's Australia equalising.
We're at that stage in the next two games where fine margins can really change the whole trajectory of not only a match, but the whole campaign. And I'm sure the Australians will take that.
And now with a handful of minutes before half-time, can they seize a bit of momentum with adrenaline pumping? Preventative defending done there by Qatar. How different's the half-time team talk already, purely thanks to the equaliser?
Yeah, look, I don't think they'll change too much, really. Australia's really struggled to penetrate the Jordanian defence. So lots of information, you can hear a lot as well.
Here comes the corner. Shouts for handball. Referee's had a good hard look, but holds his whistle. Goodwin gets a third chance here. Hoping for Mobile. Headed away. Right, the goal scorer wins possession back. Trying to keep Jordan on the back foot. In the end, Alwan was able to squeeze the ball back, and now Jordan have possession. Australia sensing the chance to try and strike twice in quick succession. Abu Hashish. Caught by McGree. Socceroos switch left. Davidson advancing. McGree chasing his first touch, and rising above him is Katab back to his goalkeeper.
Well, I guess also Graham Arnold will probably address at half-time the on the left-hand side defensively. The Jordanians and Al Tamari in particular counter-attacking down this right-hand side. And the defensive structure and intensity around the edge of the box as well.
Ratchic's header. An exchange back and forth in the air. Goodwin gets it on the ground. And now Dougal out into the path of Alan Mobile. The cutback. And read best by Abu Hashish. And a precise 1-2 to get out of the defensive penalty area, but not much further than that. Given away, Bailey Wright hands up to the face, but he has to turn his attention to defending here. As Jordan looked to advance. Olwan. Karacic steers him away from the penalty area. Still numbers committed forward here for Jordan, though. And another underhit pass. Well, just interrupted the attack for a brief moment as we tick into the last minute of regulation in the first half. High hopeful ball, and that'll be Matt Ryan's to claim uncontested. Mobile. One-on-one against the fullback here. Full-blooded slide challenge coming in. Felled him, but Karacic follows up. Goodwin nods it to Moy. Moy spins out to the left. Goodwin. Errant touch. And it opened the door for Altamari to come back and win possession. He bit off more than he can chew in the end, but he's not made to pay for it. As the ball deflects kindly. 2 additional minutes to end the first half. Think back to the treatment that Musa Altamari required after the trailing arm from Craig Goodwin, responsible for most of the stoppage at the end of the first 45. A few other slight delays, but nothing significant. It's enough time for Jordan to strike again if they're sharp here. Ali Olwan, who's in the box for him? No one home.
Friend, help him! Help him!
Dougal. Long diagonal ball intercepted quite comfortably by Ihsan Haddad. And so as we tick into the final minute, it was a half that started fairly neutral before a rocket strike from Musa Altamari made it 1-0 to Jordan. And then just as Australia were starting to look a little bit stale in their ideas, a set piece was their salvation. Craig Goodwin putting it on the head of Bailey Wright. And that led to the equaliser. However, there's one more corner to be dealt with here at the end of the first half for the Socceroos. Sharara hasn't quite found the mark with his set-piece delivery just yet. So at the end of the first 45, can he ask a more pressing question of Australia's defence here? Attacking the near post this time, emphatically away by D'Agostino. The follow-up shot is wide left. Baha Abdul Rahman would have loved to have ended the half with a stunning strike, not to be.
Well, Australia have defended the first instance of the corners well, but so second phase, they need to be a little switched on.
And so as the halftime whistle goes, it's level, and there's plenty to mull over. It's Jordan 1, Australia 1.
It is all locked up at the break as the Socceroos work their way into this contest, fiery for a friendly. The halftime show is next. All the analysis with Mark Milligan and Bruce Gitte as we look ahead to that crucial World Cup playoff game against the UAE next week. It is 1 goal apiece in Qatar after the first half of the Socceroos friendly clash warm-up game against Jordan. Lovely build-up play and a gorgeous finish from Musa Al-Tamari for the first goal of the game. Plenty of questions for Graham Arnold to ponder at half-time as we look ahead to the second half in this clash. Hello, I'm Neve Owens. Welcome to our half-time show. I'm here alongside Mark Milligan and Bruce Jitte. Gents, can I ask you about that first half to begin with? Because, Millsy, you said in the pre-game you wanted to see an aggressive approach. You don't want the Socceroos to be passive in these crucial playoff games. What did you make of that first 45?
We saw a passive Socceroos, and I think we saw the reason why we can't be passive as well with the antics that Jordan showed after they had
welcome back. And at the start of the second half, Socceroos are going to make a couple of changes. Jason Davidson being subbed out for Aziz Bayic, and Jackson Irvine is the other half-time sub that is coming into the game for the Socceroos. There he is, from St. Pauli in Germany. Jason Davidson's first Socceroos cap since 2015 comes to a conclusion after the first half of the game. And Bayic, who is available on a free transfer after a full season in Turkey, where he's been playing with Giresunspor. He is in at left back in the second half. Kicks off Daniel McBreen. For those of you who are waking up, yes, W. Colin on the score graphic we're getting. That is Bailey Colin Wright, who has been able to grab the equaliser for the Socceroos in a first half where, again, if you are just a little bit bleary-eyed, bring us up to speed. Naga, what do you reckon of the game so far?
Yeah, a little bit stagnant from the Socceroos. Really struggled to break down the Jordanian defence. Well-organised team. The Jordanians themselves really dangerous on the counter-attack, particularly down the Australian left-hand side. Neither goalkeeper really having too much to do in the game. But a fantastic finish from Al Tamari to set the Jordanians ahead. And a headed goal from Bailey Wright, as you say, bringing the Socceroos level.
We see Matty Ryan venture out of his penalty area here. Jordan trying to strike early in the second half, but that balloons off the boot of Noor Al Rababday.
And that's the areas there where the Socceroos in defence, a little bit sloppy here, giving the ball away. But areas around the edge of the box, just outside the edge of the box, need to be a little bit, I guess, more intense in their defensive organisation, allowing the Jordanians to get strikes away on goal.
So Kenny Dougal, the other player to make way. Aaron Moy starting this game. Dougal is central midfield partner. You see the aforementioned Jackson Irvine on the ball, and there's the other sub, Aziz Bayic, coming on as well. So what do you make of those two changes? They are like for like, not the type to really shake up perhaps the pattern of the game.
No, definitely like for like. Graham Arnold said before the match that Jason Davidson, more attacking fullback, would look to get forward, and it was probably where the Jordanians had more of their success when they got that ball, exposing that space in behind where Davidson had gone forward. Maybe just a little bit of a more pragmatic approach in that area.
Little tap of the heels for a bill there from Mohamed Abu Hashish. Bill, one of the players who was perhaps first to take exception to some lenient reffing in the first half, so he might get a few more calls going his way here in the second. And a cheap giveaway allows Jordan to break, and at speed. Al Tawari tried to buy a foul off Jackson Irvine, but the referee not interested. He's wiped himself out there more than anything, the Jordan goal scorer. Mabil, a loose first touch. Just opened the door for Abu Hashish, but he's able to recover and force the ball down the line to Riley McGree. McGree, not much by way of support. Steers in to Moy. Now a chance. Goodwin on the overlap. Here's Bayic. Play will continue. Only briefly. The referee's going to bring it back for a free kick. And first card of the game as well. Into the book goes Tarek Katab for knocking over Craig Goodwin.
Well, that was better play from the Socceroos. Quick ball movement. Moy, Goodwin here. It's a dangerous challenge, and it's in a dangerous area as well. Interesting to see who decides to take on this free kick.
First booking of the game. And where Australia's equaliser came from a set piece and a header, this is far more likely to be a direct shot on Yazid Abu Layla's goal.
The way Craig Goodwin's been hitting them recently, sure he'll be having just a little conversation with Aaron Moy as they both stand over the ball.
It's a 50-50 choice here. Moy, back in competitive football, having been off since January with his Chinese club, Shanghai Port. Craig Goodwin coming off the back of an A-League men's season where he was a fancy to win the Warren medal, missing out to Jake Brimmer. It's Aaron Moy, and it's off the woodwork, and the follow-up is over. D'Agostino hunting his first international goal. Moy a coat of varnish away.
Well, it was a great strike, wasn't it? And the follow-up as well. D'Agostino was there, but just couldn't stretch out and get over the ball. You see there, keeper rooted to the spot, just watching and hoping that the ball would go wide. And there's a cannon back off the post. Nick D'Agostino was following in, but just couldn't direct it on target. Just came a little too quickly for him.
Now Jordan trying to force the issue at the other end. Well, that is the form is temporary, class is permanent moment for Aaron Moy, isn't it?
It is, it is. And again, it comes from a set piece for the Socceroos. We haven't seen too much in the way of open play chances.
He's presented a 50-50 here. Shouts for handball not heeded. And so Australia prevail. Bailey Wright. Following up, Karacic. Moy attempted crossfield pass, takes a deflection, but still finds its intended target, as is Bajic. And the fresh legs of Bajic, looking for McGree. Interception at the last by Abu Hashish. Goodwin. Neat link-up play through the left side. Bajic, Mabil, and he wasn't able to strike the ball as it arrived at his feet.
Well, that was much better play from the Socceroos. You see the run from Aziz Bajic getting in behind the defence for good first-time ball. Just sets himself there, and it's not a bad ball, actually. Oh, Mabil, maybe could have taken it with his left foot. Just tried to use the outside of the right, but an immediate impact from Aziz Bajic down that left-hand side, getting forward. And the Jordanians on the back foot.
Emphatic rise to the header by Wright as it's hooked out for a throw. Adnan Hamad, the Jordan coach, yet to turn to his bench. Irvine. Hoping for Mabil, but he's overhit it. There was an element of that in the first half. How much of that can you put down to lack of familiarity versus skill errors versus maybe a bit of adjustment to the stadium and the conditions?
Oh, look, it'll be a mix of all of those things, really. Graham Arnold, you can hear him trying to ask them to move the ball quickly. Try and keep that ball on the deck and get it through the lines quickly. Try and find those little pockets in between defensive lines and midfield lines where you can shorten those pass, the final pass, have that higher success rate. But they have struggled, the Socceroos, to really find those attacking midfield positions.
And a ponderous touch at the centre of defence from Katab. Was able to slice it away to his team's advantage eventually. And a free kick now. As we see the not so indiscriminate grab of the shirt from Aaron Moy. Jordan, who've done no attacking at all through 8.5 minutes of the second 45. They are going to turn to their own bench. It's Abdullah Nasib who's about to be subbed on. Mabil linking up nicely with McGree. Now Moy commanding so much more of the ball. Kai rolls, an international debut. And now Moy from a standing start. Karacic steps around his marker. Just mishit the pass. It's interesting, about 10 minutes of the second half, Daniel, and since the departure of Dougal for Irvine, there's no sharing of creative responsibilities anymore. Everything is going to the feet of Aaron Moy.
Yeah, the Socceroos seem to be moving the ball a little quicker as well. There's a little bit more intensity in the movement. You can hear the players demanding, especially as his Beach on that left-hand side. You could hear him demanding the ball from Kai Rolls. Aaron Moy earlier didn't get it as early as he would have liked. And I think that's just stepped up the tempo a little bit.
Bayage quick to knock the ball back to Irvine. Moy's the man he wants. Able to turn and face. Runner's break. Bending ball out to the left. And Bayage will watch it run over the line for a corner kick. And now Sharara, the number 14, his number's up. He's going to be replaced by Yazan Al-Nomat, who is one of the form men for Jordan and brings a new level of goal threat to the team, having scored against Egypt in December's Arab Cup and also a double against Palestine in that tournament. So he's got goals in him. There's the other sub, Tariq Kateb, the only man on a yellow card in the game. He comes off and Abdullah Nasib comes on. So Al-Nomat, another potential player the Socceroos will have to be concerned with. Right now their focus is attacking, and it is only a brief attack from that corner, sailing out. Last touch off Jackson Irvine.
He did well there, Jackson Irvine, to get across his defender, change his direction on the run. Just couldn't quite get the direction on the header. And it has proved to be, for the Socceroos, set pieces have proved to be a main weapon of theirs.
Irvine, a solid header. The cause to chase, not for very long. McGree pulls up as it runs back down to Yazid Abulela. Here's the sub, Nasib. Straight out to the right side of defence, and then a deflected pass. It's going to work out for the Jordanians. Luck's a fortune. And here goes Al Tamari. He's very left-footed though. He goes to ground. And again, Jordan asking for a penalty kick, as his Bayage says, you don't fool me.
He went down way too early there, didn't he? You could see there's definitely not enough contact there for mine for him to go down. He tries to actually throw his left leg across as his Beach to initiate contact, but it's gone down before the touch is there even. And it's not the first time tonight.
Well, I mean, a player who's shown himself to be so one-footed, he's coming in on the wrong side for a left-footer. The chances of him pulling the trigger are pretty slim. I think Bayage knew what was coming. Anyway, as we saw in the first half, Australia very much got away with one. And they'll be hoping that perhaps the Kuwaiti refereeing team haven't put their heads together for a square-up call at some point later in the game. Abu Hashish. Al Arab. Jordan now, after 10 minutes, not quite under siege, but certainly on the back foot, enjoying a bit more possession here in the second half. Tamari is lurking here as Alawan brings the ball down and then can't find a teammate, gives it away to Mabil. Moy. Irvine now commanding the ball. Again, trying to break a fairly stagnant holding pattern here for Australia as they try to pass it into their attacking half with any great purpose. And now, out of a clash of legs, the ball's going to fall kindly, and in broken play, that might be their best opportunity to go. Goodwin. McGree Now Irvine laying it over to Moy on the left. He's got Bajic on the overlap. Moy turns central and blocked straight off the boot. A chance to play out into space. That will suit Jordan to a T. And away goes Yazan Al-Naimat. Oh, it's gone across the face. I mentioned he was in goal-scoring form for his national team, and he nearly got that spot on.
Well, he nearly got it spot on, but the Australian defence didn't at all there. You see, all at sea, the line is all over the place. And to be fair to Al-Naimat, he's had odds on to score there, really. Should have done. And it's a let-off for the Socceroos again.
Well, in the first half, at the last let-off, they went down the other end and scored immediately. So can Australia repeat the dose? Diagonal ball, Bajic. And this time, his first touch abandons him.
Well, that's a wake-up call for the Socceroos as well. You said it's been almost all Socceroos this 15 minutes in the second half. And that one opportunity, you look here. This is one-on-one with the keeper. Probably the right decision to chip the on-rushing Matt Ryan. He just couldn't get the radar on. And that is a real let-off.
I'll admit, the stock angle, I thought he'd scored. It was a surprise to see that slide wide of the target, but a fortunate surprise for the Socceroos, who are readying Denis Genreau down on the sidelines to come on for some midfield minutes. There he is, just in the background, wandering behind Graham Arnold. So we have another look at this free kick here.
Come on, boys, tighten it up.
A little tug on the shirt there was enough for the referee.
So 61 minutes is Aaron Moy's first shift back in green and gold. And Denis Genreau coming off a sensational season in Ligue 2, where he was able to win promotion with Toulouse. He comes on for just under half an hour of regulation time to press his case, his third international cap for the 23-year-old. Here's Yazan Al-Arab. So, thoughts on an hour of Aaron Moy?
Well, we saw more of him in the second half, didn't we? First half, very deep, getting on the ball. More just bouncing and moving the ball around between defenders. He started to get a little bit more involved in the second half. A long time without football. So I'm sure it was probably discussed before the game. Get through a good 60 minutes in your belt.
Foul here. Riley McGree. Get a couple of replays here to see. Ooh, right on the back of the ankle.
Yeah, that hurts.
So, don't forget, tonight's friendly is all in preparation for the win or go home game against the United Arab Emirates. 3:30 a.m. Eastern Time, Wednesday, June the 8th. Make sure you set your alarm or you're pulling through. Winner faces Peru for a spot in the FIFA World Cup. And it'll be right here on Network 10.
You see there, just a little bit of miscommunication. Kovacic wanting to go up the line. Riley McGree saying, I need you to come short, come back, drop off the defence and come and get it to feet.
Any other subs you got in mind? Just for those of you waking up to the game, not in the matchday squad, Martin Boyle, Mitch Duke, Joel King, Matthew Leckie and Adam Taggart. The rest of the squad are all available on the bench. The likes of Arden Hrustic, potentially, Marco Tilio, Nathaniel Atkinson, Jamie McLaren. Is there anyone that jumps off the remaining subs that you'd like to see out there?
There's a lot, actually. And I'm sure they'll all want to get some minutes in there under their belt. And I think, really, just the way with the game's panning out, I'm going to have to look at some of the attacking options. The Socceroos haven't really created too much in the way of goal-scoring opportunities from open play. Probably that one chance really from the Aziz Beige ball across to Awa Mabil, where he tried to hit it with the outside of the foot. And apart from that, There hasn't really been anything else to write home about.
Very true, the goal coming from a free kick. And then Aaron Moy hitting the post before D'Agostino's follow-up. He just couldn't get his head over the ball and steer his volley under the crossbar. It was Australia's best chance to take a 2-1 lead. So the game remains 1-1. Of course, Jordan with a degree of seriousness to their preparation in this game as well. Next week, they start their attempts to qualify for the Asian Cup. As we said, long ball over the top here beyond the first touch of the attacker, Al Naimat. Haven't been drawn in the easiest group either. Nepal, Indonesia and Kuwait. So there's no guarantee to be attending the 2023 Asian Cup, Jordan. Kuwait probably the sternest opponent in the group. Of course, Australia having already qualified by virtue of their World Cup qualifying performance. They don't have to concern themselves with that. It's for all the marbles and the World Cup instead, as D'Agostino hits a pass he would love to have back.
That's just sloppy, isn't it? And the Jordanians are making a good account of themselves tonight. Probably created the best goal-scoring opportunity from open play.
Here comes Munta Abu Amara, and he'll be entering the game for Ali Olwan. So the man who scored against New Zealand late last year, not able to repeat the magic against an Antipodean rival, and so Abu Amara comes on.
Substitution for Jordan has been replaced by number 7.
Long clearance from Matt Ryan. And it's glanced on, potentially advantageous for Riley McGree, who had a quick head check before taking possession, so he knew where Awa Mabil was. And the first involvement of the sub, Abu Amara, is to put it behind for a corner. And again, if set pieces are the Socceroos' main route to goal, each of these become increasingly important. Kai Rolls, the international debutant, getting forward here. Jackson Irvine, an obvious target to aim for as well. All congregated around the penalty spot, waiting for Craig Goodwin's delivery. Is this the moment for the Socceroos to take the lead? In it comes, and it's steered away by the keeper. The follow-up, and Mabil has scored. Estranda in front, and it's Awa Mabil who gives the Socceroos a 2-1 lead. And they are set-piece specials tonight.
You said it, Teo. It's another set piece, another opportunity, and it's a great header, originally from Bailey Wright, with a good save from Abu Layla. On the rebound, Socceroos quickest to react with D'Agostino just tipping it back towards goal. And Awa Mabil quickest to react with a nice little flick above the keeper's head. It's a set piece. Goal again for the Socceroos.
And it's his 7th international goal, Awa Mabil. Last scored against Oman back in October. And after a season where he only appeared 11 times for Kasımpaşa in Turkey, he's being mooted, if not almost certain to join Cadiz in La Liga. So great to have an Australian international potentially heading back to the top 5 leagues. And that'll be a great piece of business if he ends up going to the World Cup and putting on a bit of a show to have signed him before the tournament. Right now, though, it's an important goal just to have Australia sitting in a better position in the game.
Yeah, well, we spoke about earlier that Arnold said it's not really that important, the result tonight, but it is for the players and for the confidence and for going forward into the next game. When you look at performances, or the results as well, over the last 7 games for Australia, only 1 victory there. I think they desperately want and need a win tonight. And of course, they would like a performance that goes well as well, but that can be, as we said earlier, a little disjointed. You know, we've got some players here, I mentioned, may not be in the first 11 in the next match, getting minutes, getting some time to adjust. And for those players, do a world of good to get a victory up.
Of course, Bailey Wright with the initial header from that corner. McGree to Mabil. You can see the confidence flowing. He can't connect with the overlapping run. It's a second chance. McGree again. Genro and McGree. Bailey Wright trying to direct traffic. How different will this midfield look for the last 20 minutes now that the starters Moy and also Dougal have made way for Irvine and Genro. McGree clearly coming a lot deeper now as well. Bajic. D'Agostino. Nice little 1-2, as is Bajic in behind. The cutback through the penalty area, it rolls. And eventually cleared away, and the referee's whistle will go due to a bit of collateral damage at that near post.
You could hear the contact there, but again, it's as is Bajic down that left-hand side. I think he's been one of the best performers since he's come on. Good ball in, heavy contact in the middle. Both players eyes on the ball.
Yazan Al-Arab, one of the more physically imposing Jordanian players, able to get back up without the need for the trainer being called.
I think the Socceroos have had a little bit more controlled possession in this second half. They've moved the ball a little quicker. But the positive runs from Aziz Bajic on that left side in particular, when they've had that ball in those higher positions, midfield positions, he's able to make those runs in behind, short passes, and then look to get the first time cross in. I think he's made a real difference.
So now Jordan's turn to wait on the ball in their defensive half, and they're not able to initially get a great deal going, but that's great close control from Al Naimat to work it out to the right. And now the Socceroos midfield are all backtracking. Al Tamari. And in close quarters, nearly able to work the ball down the sidelines there was Al Rawabde. Mabil wins possession back for Australia. Karacic. He offers it up to Al-Arab. Abdul-Rahman. Jordan stringing some passes together, but not in the most threatening areas. Now when it's glanced on, Bailey Wright is there. Irvine went to ground, play continues. Abu Amara not able to keep control of the ball. And the referee's reaching for a card here, so did he see something he took exception to in the build-up prior? No, he's just reaching for his notebook because it's substitution time. And we're going to see Aydin Trustic and also Jamie McLaren coming on. Nick D'Agostino, his search for a first international goal continues. Jamie McLaren coming in off the back of a finals campaign with Melbourne City in the A-League. Aydin Trustic comes on for Riley McGree after winning the Europa League with Eintracht Frankfurt. Of course, he scored in the penalty shootout against Glasgow Rangers. Way to winning that trophy.
Two substitutions for Australia. Player number 15, Nicolas D'Agostino, has been replaced by
Irvine hits it out to the left. Bajic bringing the ball under his control. Now Craig Goodwin.
has been replaced by
Bajic. Not quite the perfect introduction for McLaren as the ball is defended well at the near post. McLaren, first touch to Bajic. Any thoughts on the deployment of McGree? It seemed as though, again, just as he was starting to get a bit more of a feel of the game, he's been subbed out, almost like they'd worked it out in the process of the game, and just as we were starting to see the fruit of that, he leaves the action.
Yeah, well, I think this is also one of those games where you're going to want to get players on. You're going to see a lot of changes as the game moves on as well.
Nice little advancing run there from Mohamed Abu Hashish, who we've barely seen try to get up from left side of defence so far in this game. Abu Amara played it back into a 50-50. McLaren cleared by Matty Ryan. Nasib, the header for Jordan. As far as Karacic. Rolls. And now Hrustic on the ball. Aydin Hrustic distributing from deep. Was under hit in the end. Back to the centre of defence. Al-Arab. Cushioned header to Jeanro. Now Karacic. To Jeanro, the most recent goal scorer. However, Bill whips it across. And it's off the midriff of McLaren. Did he get the last touch, or is it a corner? Last touch came off Nasib. Corner kick.
It was not bad play down this right-hand side. It was a decent ball in as well. Jamie McLaren just couldn't get across the front of his defender. He was still trying to get towards that central area of the field. With the early ball in, and just maybe a little unawares.
So Mabil goes and stands in a similar position to where he scored from at the last corner kick, which came from the opposite side of the pitch. Goodwin still on set-piece duty. This one headed away at the near post by Ihsan Haddad. Goodwin trying to chest it down, just kept it in. Australia drawing Jordan out. Maybe a bit more space to play into then. Mabil's flick header on. McLaren advancing. Without the ball, though. Irvine and Hrustic. Goodwin, an underhit pass taken away from him. Alro update. Jordan didn't keep the ball for very long, though. Now another giveaway here. Scrappy from both teams. Hrustic chasing the ball. Nasib sends it to right back. McLaren's turn to go and pursue. Well, sometimes a sub injects themselves into the game, Daniel, and sometimes it can cause a bit of disorientation and interrupt the flow. And it's safe to say the introduction of McLaren and Hrustic might have done that to Australia.
Yeah, I think Australia had a better period for them from the start of the second half, and we've seen a few changes now come into effect. Sometimes it, as you say, can just disrupt it a little bit, just try and find the pace of the game for the guys who have just come on.
See, Jordan are about to have a triple change of their own, so it's going to be almost two new teams by the time all of these changes go through, as the ball is sliced behind for a corner. Potential risk of an own goal there, but Kai rolls, puts it behind, gets some low fives, and now it's all action on the Jordan bench as Mohamed Samir comes off, and there's his replacement, Mahmoud Al-Mahdi. As we tick down to the last 10 minutes of the action here. It's also the end of the game for Jordan's goal scorer, Musa Al-Tamari. Sensational goal.
محمود
He is replaced by
وخروج اللاعب رقم
Saleh Ratib.
روابط بحيث محل اللاعب رقم 17 ورجاء حسن وخروج اللاعب رقم 10
There's the other change, Rajay Ayed coming on for Jordan as well. Here's the corner, attempting a flick on at the near post. It was Mahmoud Almadi, first involvement in the game. Australia comes away with the clearance. Progressed too far though. Rustic put a bit of body in. Al Nomat is able to win a free kick. Jackson Irvine says it's my first foul, but the referee, out comes the spray cannon. This is right on the edge of shooting range here for Jordan to potentially have a ping.
Yeah, it's a dangerous area. You see the replay. Not too sure how much Jackson Irvine got. A little touch on the foot there, I guess, but certainly played for by Al Nomat. This is a very dangerous area.
Well, the game had been drifting for the last minute or two. A goal here would certainly lift the intensity for the last 10 minutes. Mind on the job, says Matty Ryan. And the referee, who has quite liberally used the spray can tonight, marks out where the wall needs to stand. And Baha Abdul Rahman stands solo over the free kick. Has he got a bit of magic in the boots to bring Jordan level here, the captain of the team? So a defensive stand coming up for the Socceroos then. Abdul Rahman with a deflection off the wall, and that will be a corner.
Well, the wall doing their job there. That was in a real dangerous area. You can see there was only one thing on his mind, and it wasn't a touch from Jackson Irvine there. Matty Ryan was going to be tested as that ball looked to be sailing near the top corner.
Corner attacks the near post again. Nabil glancing header away. The follow-up. And Abdul Rahman sends that about 25 rows back. So the Socceroos stare down a couple of set-piece opportunities.
And they've done all night. They've done that well. They've cleared the first ball in from set pieces, but it's that edge of the box area. Mark Milligan said it at half-time. If you give players of this calibre the opportunities from that area, 4 or 5 may go into row 25, as you said, like that one. One of them can go like a bullet. El Tamari in the first half.
And so will a spell of Jordan attacking sharpen Australia up for the final stretch of this game here? Right. Goodwin headed for the ball to bounce and now nods it on with some aggression. Appeared to be clattered after moving the ball.
Clear foul there. Goodwin just helping the ball on. Just a little late with the challenge.
Maybe with the fresh legs of a recent triple change, Jordan are going to hunt and press a little bit more here. Just force the Socceroos to up their own tempo. Good feed from Prustic to move the ball back to Rolls. Goodwin. It's becoming a bit of a magnet for fouls now. It's knocked to the ground again, this time by Isan Haddad. Genre, early ball.
trying to anticipate the way it was going to break, but Ihsan Haddad backtracked and was able to steer it to his keeper. Aerial duel, and Aziz Bayic is blown up there for a foul on Munta Abu Amara.
Just a little too eager there. Aziz Bayic leading with the arm in the back of the head there. It's just been a little scrappy the last 5 or so minutes. Australia had done particularly well in the second half, up the game a little bit.
Abu Hashish. Ripped away by Genro. Off the chest of McLaren. Through comes Al Arab. And Genro again. Just clearing for territory. Sib goes and retrieves the ball for Jordan. They're chasing an equaliser. The question is, will they be good enough to create and execute a chance? Al Mahdi flicks it back. Abu Hashish. No one to aim for in the penalty area. And Australia quick to the second ball. However, it's been coughed up. Abu Amara to shouts of no foul from the Australian sideline. Ayed. Abul Rahman. Plenty of intensity, but not enough quality from the Jordanians. And as Australia win the ball back, fairly cynical foul is committed on Aydin Hrustic as he was breaking out of the defensive half.
I guess, Tay, if you look back at the performance of tonight from the Socceroos, I think the most concerning factor would be the real lack of any creation of scoring opportunities from open play. We haven't really seen anything of note. Maybe that man, Owen Mobile, had the best opportunity from an Aziz Bayic cross, but as he gets replaced by Marco Tilio, there's not really been any cut and thrust from that midfield into wide areas. Aziz Bayic has shown a little bit going forward.
Substitution for Australia, player number 11.
Fourth international cap for 20-year-old Marco Tilio, replacing Owen Mobile, who scored his 7th international goal tonight. And at the moment, it is the match winner. However, still a handful of minutes to go. No shortage of interest in trying to grab an equaliser from the Jordanians, but they just haven't been slick enough to really trouble Australia ever since the golden opportunity missed by Yazan Al Naimat. That came when the score was still 1-1. Genro. Can Australia put this one to bed? Hrustic. Tilio, first involvement off the bench. Goodwin. Just dragged it down. Genro onto his right side. It's Denny Genro! And it's parried away. Abu Layla makes the save. We were calling for something from open play. There we go.
Got to the 88th minute to see a real decent chance.
Hrustic just dragged the ball into a pack of players, and the green and gold shirt isn't able to emerge with it. Bit of a risky pass back into the corridor here for Jordan, but casual as you like. Yazan Al Arab trusts his goalkeeper to clean it up. It's a shallow clearance though. Genro. Now Goodwin set for the full 90 with Bayic. So 2 minutes of regulation, and Australia have just turned up the heat a little bit here at the end of the night. Flipped on by McLaren. Hrustic, the ball gifted to him in the end. And now Tilio to McLaren. Will it set up for Jamie McLaren, edge of the box? He's going to turn and shoot and fire over the bar.
Well, it was a little sloppy, wasn't it? A little bit fortuitous. Jamie McLaren gets a strike away on target.
Hrustic, space to exploit. And now Karacic, the cutback. Didn't want to go for it on the tight angle himself. Jordan had players packing the defensive penalty area. Tilio buzzing around. What a difference he's made coming on even just in 2 minutes or so. And in the last minute of regulation, Matt Ryan clears. Al-Raqqa. Can there be a late twist in the tail for Jordan? Abu Hashish. The ball knocked away from Al-Mahdi, who didn't convince with his tumble to the ground. Three additional minutes to end the night then. Australia falling behind in the first half to Musa Al-Tamari, but a headed goal from Bailey Wright on the end of Craig Goodwin's free kick. And then a Goodwin corner, headed on goal by Wright. Follow up from D'Agostino and lanced with the outside of the right boot in by Awamabil. That's the reason the Socceroos lead 2-1. And yet, their night is not yet done. Zan Al-Naimat continues to be a bit of a thorn in the side of some weary defenders.
Well, if you looked on his left-hand side there, you can see Al-Mahdi just making a great run. He just chose to take on Bailey Wright. If he slipped that ball to his left, the Socceroos could have been in trouble.
So a stoppage time at set piece. Does Baha Abdul-Rahman have prepared? He's going to bend it, and it's just over the head of the advancing Ihsan Haddad. Jordan Bench went up. No contact on the ball.
Well, he was all alone there, wasn't he? I'm not sure if the flag went up at all. May have done if he got a contact on that, but wasn't too far away from a chance at an equaliser there. You can see the bench, they saw how close it was.
Well, seemingly needless yellow card to pick up. Surely not time wasting at the end of a friendly, but Matty Ryan will go in the book nonetheless. And it'll take us into the last minute of stoppage, so trying to get full value for his yellow ticket. Irvine.
Yellow card for player number 1, Matthew Ryan from Australia.
Jordan have to go end-to-end if they want to leave with a share of the spoils in this friendly game. And Bayage not letting them progress. Irvine. Crunching challenge coming through from Ihsan Haddad, and well, he's attempting sportsmanship, and I think Craig Goodwin is happy to accept a pat on the back as a yellow card comes out of the pocket for him.
Well, he wasn't too happy, Craig Goodwin, and I can see why. Look at that. That is dangerous. He's looking to make contact and hurt Craig Goodwin there. And I think Craig Goodwin realised, I don't need to get myself into anything here in the last seconds of the match. And rightly simmered himself down. That was an awful challenge.
Yeah, perhaps lucky only to be yellow at the end of the game. Stoppage time expires then. And in the first of what Australia hope will be 3 successful games in Qatar, they are going to make it to the finish line of this one as winners. Nasib. Play continues. Referee swallowed his whistle at the end of the night then. Abu Hashish in front of Al-Mahdi, and a corner. Well, he needs extra time. Got multi-ball going here, all sorts of confusion. Can Jordan smash and grab at the end of the night? Now pedantry over where the ball is for the corner kick. So, one last hurrah for the Jordanians then. Attacking the near post. Emphatic header away by Bajic. Follow up. Double ruckman. Flips back into the box. Bajic the obstacle again. And as it's cleared away by Aden Hrustic, full-time goes. And Australia will leave winners on the scoreboard. There's an interesting week ahead to ponder what will come next against the UAE. Tonight, just a friendly. The next game is for all the marbles. It finishes in Qatar. Jordan 1, Australia 2.
Thanks so much, Teo Palizzeri and Daniel McBreen, for the call of the action. The Socceroos took a little while to build into that one, but an improved performance in the second half. The Aussies up the tempo, got some minutes in players' legs, and we'll hear from that man, Graham Arnold, very soon in Qatar. Welcome to the post-game show here on Network 10. I'm Neve Owens, here alongside Mark Milligan and Bruce Jitte. Gents, at half-time, we're asking some questions about the urgency that the Socceroos were showing. Did you see more to like in that second half, Millsy?
Yeah, the second half was better. Few changes as well. I think Aziz coming on made a big difference. Getting forward, getting in behind, some early balls in behind the defence as well. So I thought he did well when he came on. But yeah, look, better signs, and I think they touched on it beforehand as well. Probably the best way to look at that is they got the minutes into the legs that they wanted.
Including Aaron Moy, 60 minutes, and we know heading into that crucial playoff game with UAE, hopefully then a game against Peru, he's going to be really important.
He's going to be super important, and our experienced players will be important. These big games need those big players with the big game experience, and Aaron Moy is one of them. He hasn't played a great deal of club football, but good to see him get 60 minutes and a much improved performance overall in the second half, and, we got the win as well.
We can cross back to Qatar now. Scott McKinnon is there and he's with one of the goal scorers, Awan Mobile.
Mate, you absolutely love this joint, don't you? 3 games here in this campaign, 3 goals. Happy days.
Yeah, it's our second home now. Obviously, we have to adapt. But for me, Qatar has been really nice to me. I've scored 3 goals here in 3 games, I think. So, I'm just excited for the next games, really.
Mate, you had a big smile on your dial, and can you talk us through the post-goal celebration? You look like you were strumming a guitar. What's that about?
Yeah, it was for Mike. We talked before the game, and he was asking